hell, I don't know what I'm doing.
And that's live.
Yes. That's going to stay in.
All right, everybody, you're listening to Geek Vice, the 2014 official sponsor of the Polar Vortex. Now's your host, Morph.
Welcome, everybody, to Geek Vice, episode 56, a podcast by a few geeks just trying to be in a world now flooded with geeks. I think I said that right. I'm not really sure anymore.
Nobody listens to you.
I'm Morph, your bartender for the zombie apocalypse. That other man is Kip, a man boldly going from the couch to the kitchen and back again. Good evening, Kip.
Good evening.
And we've got a couple other people in there for anyone who's listening or watching. We've got a couple of guests here. We've got John Harris and Bill Sininger. I said that right, Bill?
Yep.
Yes. These guys have an unhealthy obsession with board games, so much so that they created their own company, Prolific Games. If you haven't played one of their games, then you can't consider yourself a true board gamer. They've made games such as Flapjacks and Sasquatches, Hirelings, The Ascent, Tricked Out Heroes, and now the new expansion for Flapjacks and Sasquatches, The Cup of Joe. Welcome, Bill and John.
I don't know. That's the nicest opening ever for me. I think I'm going to save that as my ringtone.
I was going to hire him as a marketing director.
I wrote that in about 2 minutes, too. If only I could do that every time.
This is how much faith I have in him. I thought you guys wrote it, and he just copied it into our notes.
Oh, ouch.
Think what he can do sober.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, he was almost sober. He was at work while he was doing it.
Well, yeah, that's probably true. So, all right, guys. I only had one question right on here in this for this entire interview, and you beat me to the punch by making your Kickstarter go live today before we recorded. So you're 3 for 3. Your new Kickstarter started now, and you're already 89 backers and almost halfway to your goal in less than, 12 hours?
Just over 12 hours, yep.
So you guys are done, ready to rock and roll, right? Here we go.
John?
Well, being the optimistic part of this duo, I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's put it that way. Bill's over the moon, and I'm cautiously optimistic.
There you go. So you guys can meet in the middle, and everything's gonna be fine.
I really think it's gonna go well. Until we cross that line and until we're fully funded and the Kickstarter's over, I sweat every detail.
No, I understand that. So tell us a little bit about your Kickstarter here. Tell us why you created this thing and what people are going to get if they fund this thing.
Bill, you want me to take it?
So, the Flapjacks and Sasquatch has been our best-selling game by far. I think it's something that everyone can play, gamers, non-gamers, families. People like it. It's a stick-it-to-your-neighbor type game. When we originally did it, we did a add-on that you could do for custom dice. And every time we play with them at any convention or because we both have a set, so anytime we have it out, people are like, well, how do I get these dice? And for us, the ones we have are the only ones we have left. Like ours are the only ones that haven't been sold or won. And so, we were like, well, it'd be cool to make custom dice as part of an expansion. But we didn't want to just do dice. It's just not enough. So we wanted to add some stuff in. We thought it'd be cool to add trees that do things instead of just, you draw it, you play it, draw it, play it. Now, sometimes you draw them and they give you minuses. Sometimes you draw them and if you knock them over like the apple tree, then you get pluses to your next roll because you ate all the apples and are full. There's also
Or what I'm going to guess is going to be people's favorite is the eucalyptus tree. When you chop it down, it heals blisters.
Yes, I am going to love that tree.
Well,
Yeah, if Trevor plays blisters on me one more time, he and I are going to have a problem again.
Trevor's my new favorite.
I think we'll bring everybody together in harmonious joy. The petrified tree, which when you draw it, it's 8 chops and 2 points, but you give it to someone else. 3 points, but you give it to someone else.
That's going to be awesome.
Oh,
It
yeah.
replaces their tree, all the hard work they've done on it, everything's wiped clean, and they now have this new low point 8 chop tree.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
And then the other thing it adds is universal cards, which so at the start of the round, you have the starting player who has the most facial hair. Anytime someone chops down a tree in one round, so from that guy's turn all the way around to the last person's turn, when it gets to his turn again, before he goes, he's going to flip over a card if someone had chopped down a tree, and it'll have an effect. Sometimes there are effects that happen and go away. Sometimes they continually happen throughout. There's one that, like, a tornado comes through and everyone rolls dice. 4 dice, if you get 3 chops, your tree's just down. But then there are other ones like, what are you feeding that boy? That you can give your short stacks and bacon and stuff to your apprentice instead of putting it on yourself, so you don't break your axe, you can make him bigger.
Oh, cool.
And those will change every round where someone chops down. So it could be like it goes 3 turns without anyone chopping down, so that one will stay out there. Or you chop one down this turn or round, and then next round you chop down another one, and they could just keep switching. So it'll add a lot of variety.
There's 24 of them, so you're never going to see all of them in one game. So each game is going to be different every time you play now.
That's shit. Each game's different now as it is.
In fact,
Well, it's really going to change now.
that exact thing was said at the office today. Is like no 2 games are alike. So
Now
it's about the expansion.
Especially since one of my favorite add-ons, we added lumberjacks. Everyone gets dealt a lumberjack at the beginning of the game. It's a one-time use. It just does something and goes away. But it kind of gives it a flavor of like who your lumberjack is. And there are definitely some different artwork and different characters within that. So I'm actually getting more and more pumped for those lumberjack ones. But that's an add-on, so I mean people would have to add it to their thing.
Right.
So.
Oh, I'm just excited. I want the backers. I want 100 backers because I really want this Beard Envy card to come out.
No kidding.
Are you guys facially challenged like myself?
Yeah, no, I can't go anything that looks any good.
Well, you can see who I play with all the time.
Yeah. So you never get to go first.
Never.
Not once.
Well, and so, John, with that beard, like there was a convention where I was just like, I'm going to find the guy with the biggest beard to go after him. And then now that guy kind of helps us out at conventions. We find the biggest guy with the beard to beat him. So,
Yeah, one of our fans, his name's Matt White, bought the game in the first edition, I think.
yeah.
Ended up buying 4 copies from us to bring into his local game store and give to friends and stuff like that. And then came and practiced down at Gen Con and just hung out and played Flapjacks with us the entire con. And then the next year, we invited him to come back and run demos for us. And he came back dressed as a lumberjack. He had the flannel. He's got a beard that's double or triple probably quadruple my size beard. Just a little everything. It just goes nuts. But the year he showed up to run demos for us, we spent 3 days trying to find somebody with a bigger beard, and we finally did. Talked the guy into coming over. We gave the guy a generic ticket to play in one of our games.
Just let him go first.
That's
He'd
awesome.
demo for people. He'd show them how to play everything, and then he'd be like, now, we're going to start, and the person with the most facial hair. Well, that's me.
Oh, look at me.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
we're excited about it. I think it adds a lot. I think it's fun. I like that the trees do something. I like the universal cards. I like all the promos. We really wanted to get add-ons and stuff that made sense and was fun. So
Well, okay, so then here's my next question, because to me, Flapjacks and Sasquatches was already a perfect game. So was Was
No
this hard?
sucking up there at all.
No, I love playing the game just as it is. So was this kind of hard for you guys to come up with ideas and ways to change that game without taking away from the core aspect that you guys had created here?
From what I remember of the creation process, and we probably have different memories of it. I remember Bill already had a lot of the trees in mind. And then the universal cards, I think we suggested them from another game we'd seen or something where the rules changed every turn, and we came up with a bunch of those. And then we actually initially had Lumberjacks as something you used every round. But we had a dedicated group of playtesters up here, led by our friend Chad at his work. Actually, they play at their lunch. And they started trying it out, and they felt like they kept forgetting what the Lumberjacks did, or they'd forget to use it, and it was something that was just
way more powerful. Like a one-time use is different than every turn.
Right.
And so we kind of we got rid of the Lumberjacks, and they threw a whole bunch of ideas because they loved the universal cards and the new trees. And so we kind of went through those and picked out some of the best ones and sort of narrowed it down a little bit because some were great, some were a little overpowered or just a little too much. And so we scaled it back to a really good, solid set. And just based off of their play testing and our play testing alone, we think it really adds to the game. And once you start playing with it, it's one of those expansions that you're not going to pull it out again. You know what I mean? Once you start playing with it, you're just going to keep it in there. Sometimes I like to play with an expansion, and other times I don't always use it. But this is going to be one where once you add it to the game, you're going to want to play with it every time.
Well, I think even if you're like, you know what, I don't want to play with the universal cards this time, you will use the trees every time for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and there's definitely in Flapjacks you can get ahead if you just get lucky enough. You know, like you got all this stuff. The universal cards and the trees are another thing that just kind of, you know, fate gives you a little power check.
Yeah, it's another way to. It's another way to get screwed.
Yeah. By the way, you didn't quite get ahead on us there.
Yeah, that's usually what ends up happening to me. I get all kinds of good stuff, and then somebody just starts smacking me with something. Usually beavers. Freaking beavers.
Well, you just
see JL Beaver
Whisperer.
Yeah. I'm gonna need the Beaver Whisperer. Well, okay. So who's JL for the JL?
So our friend Josh Lees. So originally I designed Flapjacks and Sasquatches, right? And I had the original game, and if you look at if you guys have the Side of Bacon expansion, then you'll notice that there are some cards that have the little bacon symbols at the bottom. So those cards were added in with the Side of Bacon, and we had already designed most of it. And as John taunts you with his beer, we had already designed.
I wasn't talking. I was sharing.
Yeah. We designed most of it, and we had been play testing it and stuff. And all of a sudden, I get the phone call one night at like probably 11:30, almost 12 o'clock at night. And I'm like, look at my phone. I'm like, Josh, what the heck? He never calls me this late. I'm like, hello? He was at a bachelor party where they were playing this game. They were off their butts. And all of a sudden, all I do when I say hello, all I hear is, beavers! What? He goes, you need beavers. I'm like, and what do? I don't know, just put them in. So we put it in.
That's awesome.
Now he gets his own JL Beaver Whisperer card because he doesn't know what they do, but he can talk to them.
Yeah, that's that sounds good to me. I like this guy already.
Yeah, we also want to take him to Gen Con because a couple of years ago, I told John we need to play Have You Met Josh? Yeah. And so I just want to be able to hold that card up when I introduce him to a girl, like, you know, JL Beaver Whisperer here. Have you met?
Have you met the man who can talk to any beaver?
Correct. That's John's face palms there. I saw that.
So the other thing about that card is, inevitably at a convention, somebody will get beavers played on them, and they'll lose their tree, and there'll be swearing and cursing, and talk of how much they hate that card, and I'll be like, "Hey, Josh," and he'll look up and be like, "What?" And I say, like, "See that guy? He's the reason there's beavers in the game."
We wanted to point that out.
That's awesome. That's great. Oh, I'm stoked for this thing. I know Kip's already a backer.
Woo!
Yes.
I believe I am already a backer. I know there's several other people who are backers.
Nice.
Well, obviously
Yeah,
there's several others. Yeah, there's 89. So there's a few of us out there that are already in love with this game. Let's see, what else can you tell us about this thing? What else? Is this the end of expansions for Flapjacks and Sasquatches, or do you have something else hidden up your sleeve?
How far do you want me to go, John?
I would say that we may not. Expansions are sort of up in the air at this point. I will say, let's say, alternate versions. You want to talk about that, Bill, or not?
I say go for it. I'm pumped.
So we're looking at doing a Cultists and Cthulhu version of Flapjacks and Sasquatches, where you are a cultist trying to do rituals to bring the elder god into the world and eat all the other people while you serve him
Awesome.
loyally. So it'll be sort of an alternate version of Flapjacks and Sasquatches with a Cthulhu theme.
No, that just sounds like fun.
A little different theme play. Instead of axes, you have cultists, and
Right.
there are you can have certain combinations of cultists in play. They'll have like colored borders, and then as things make them go crazy, you'll have to discard them or try to get them back. So we're trying to do a really humorous theme on it. We want some stuff that's just my favorite card, and I'm gonna say, John, I don't care. Is the sacrificial animal. It's like two guys in hoods standing there kind of shrugging with a giraffe, like, it's always stuff like that.
Awesome.
So,
What was the LARPer card?
oh yeah, there's a LARPer card too, and in parentheses it says, he's a virgin.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's also. I got to give you guys credit for what you write on these cards, because they are hilarious. I mean, even just how these things are used, I find it quite entertaining. So
I think John and I have talked about this numerous times. We get these grandiose ideas, and Tricked Out Hero is definitely a more grandiose game than any of the other ones we've done. And we find it, we did it, we worked at it, put it through, but we found that our strength is in the humor. If we can make something funny, it plays better. If we can make it quick and make you laugh while we're doing it, that's like our sweet spot. So,
Well, you guys are hitting it well with that, and we like to house rule some of the humor, like the lure help card. It only counts if when you play it you go, hey.
which Kip is really good at, by the way.
I'm way too good at that. That's right.
I think you ought to have to strike the pose too.
put the hand up.
We're working our way towards that one.
One of the universal cards is was it dress code? It's the picture of the guys in the bathrobe covering it up. You can't lure help while it's in play.
Nice.
Yep.
The best moment I had with the lure help card, I was playing down at a game shop in the cities here. I think it was Tower Games, and the guy who ran the game night, Seppi was his name, was just every time he turned around, he'd drop a help card and someone would lure help it, and drop a help card and someone would lure help it. And he said, he looked at it and said, "Oh my God, it's like my 20s all over again. All these young boys running away from and the whole table just lost it."
That's awesome.
We have some fans, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna need every one of them for this thing, plus some, because I really like to see 600 backers so we can get all these other ones here too.
Well, then you need to get on that so you're our favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, I really want to get, but we have beer.
Right?
Because, I don't drink beer or anything.
No, you don't drink beer.
So, yeah.
He is out there doing a podcast about it, so that's a couple of points in his favor towards the "You're my favorite backer" card. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Our Kickstarter dinged once before we started. It hasn't moved since.
What's that?
I said our Kickstarter dinged once before we started this, and it hasn't moved since.
No, that's not true.
You're shutting them down.
You're up to 90 now. There's 90 backers here. I got the page here refreshing.
Are you refreshing on the kick track yet?
I know, right?
No, what is this kick track? What is that?
If you go to kick track, was something that came out like after Kickstarter. They take all the data from Kickstarter and then they project. Like, so you did this much in this day. This is your projected total.
Oh Jesus!
Total right now is like $170,000.
So it's probably telling you right now you guys are going to be multimillionaires, right. And
we're trending towards $129,859.
So it's the WebMD version of Kickstarter,
right?
Yes. It's going to tell you have herpes.
Wait! We have a new backer.
Woo!
Thank you, William Booth. I don't think you're listening, but if you are,
okay.
That's my favorite William.
So you talked about you had to include new dice for this. Now I didn't get in the first Kickstarter because I didn't even know about this thing when this first Kickstarter came up. It took Kip to throw the game in front of me for me to become a fan of it. But were the custom dice from the first one similar to the custom dice that you have coming out for this this Kickstarter? So
what we did there was we were making a really small run. We were trying to just sort of throw in something that we thought would be a neat sort of add-on so that people could up their pledges. And we had them made by Q Workshop. They were engraved dice. They weren't molded. And they were just the green lumberjack die. We made 100 sets of 5 dice each, so there were only 100 of them. And they were cool, but these are going to be even more cool. One, they're going to be full-size dice, 16 millimeters. There's going to be 5 of the green dice with axes for chops, whiff for the 3s, and broken axes for the breaks. There's going to be 2 Babe the Blue Ox dice, which we did not have in the first one. And those will have Babe for 4, 5, and 6, and whiff for 1, 2, 3, and then there's going to be the little Timber Timmy apprentice die with him smiling up at you when he does a good job for the 4, 5, and 6. So they're really cool dice. I can't wait to actually get some. Part of a good probably a third of what we're raising of the money we're raising will go towards making the molds. Custom molds are not cheap, but the good news is once they're made, we will have them.
Right.
They'll be ours, and we'll be able to hopefully, if this keeps selling and selling and selling, we'll be able to reproduce them much easier.
Yep.
So, and then there's also the add-on die that I kind of want to talk about, which is pretty cool. This is going to be another small run die. It comes in the Mound of Bacon add-on, which is 2 Mound of Bacon cards, and when you play the Mound of Bacon card, you get to roll the bacon die. And on the 1, it has Z's because you ate too much of the Mound of Bacon, fell asleep, and missed your chopping roll. On the 4, 5, and 6, it has 1 slice of bacon, so you get 1 chop on your tree, because bacon's pretty powerful stuff. Or 2 through 5, and then on the 6, it's got 2 slices of bacon for 2 chops on your tree. And if we're still working with the manufacturer on this, this is the first time we've worked with him. He seems like he's going to do some pretty cool stuff. But if he does it right, we're going to have the numbers 1 through 6 in the corner, so you can roll it just like you would a normal die for your chopping rolls, also.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So it should be as soon as he can deliver pictures or images of what the die is going to look like, we're going to put them up there too. So it should be really cool.
Awesome. Awesome. I have to make sure that the one I'm funding is for all of that stuff. 'Cause I want all of it.
Well, if you go 57, you'll get all the add-ons at the $57 level.
My wife's gonna kick my ass. I'm just telling you that now. If I need a place to live, I'm coming to one of you guys.
Yeah. We'll put you up in our garage.
Yeah, that
You'll be
works.
fine.
Just tell him he's our favorite.
It hasn't been above freezing in 8 days here. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
They'll leave the car running in there for warmth.
Like, I mean, the high hasn't been above freezing in 8 days.
Oh man.
And it's not
Yeah.
stopping for a few.
Yeah, I forgot you guys were up there in the middle of nowhere. The land where no human should be living.
The frozen tundra.
Have you told your Army story on this podcast?
Which one?
Your sergeant saying that it couldn't possibly be that
Oh,
cold.
wasn't it? So I I came back on leave once. I was stationed at Fort Hood, Texas, and I came back on leave for Christmas. And
Uh-oh. He roboted.
He's frozen.
he said it's 100 degrees colder than when I left Germany.
John,
And I
you
thought,
just
how funny, he's exaggerating.
story.
Hold
literally
on, John.
meant-
John,
What?
you're gonna have to start that one over.
You froze.
You froze with your hand on your head like you were dying. It was pretty
Am I
entertaining.
unfroze? Am I unfroze?
You're unfroze now.
You sure?
Yes.
My hand's still on my head. I'm sorry.
I can see your mouth moving, so we know you're unfroze.
What I was saying was I was stationed in Texas, and I came back on leave one Christmas. And I had called my brother, who was back on leave also from Germany. He was Air Force. And I said, what's the weather like there? And he said, it's 100 degrees colder here than it was in Germany. And I thought he was just sort of exaggerating, but he literally meant the wind chill was 50 below in Northwest Iowa, where I was from, and it was 50 when he left Germany. It was literally 100 degrees colder. And I got back there, and it was, the wind chills were in the negative 20 to negative 70 range the entire time I was back there. And it was just brutal, because it's Northwest Iowa, so there's nothing to stop the wind in the winter, right? Literally there's nothing.
Pigs.
So, what's that?
Some pigs,
Pigs?
maybe.
No, pigs go inside the hog confinements. They're not outside stopping the wind. So, I fly back down to Texas, and we were doing a convoy up through Dallas or something, so we had to go talk to the troopers, and I had to drive a lieutenant out there so he could make the arrangements with them or something. I don't even remember what it was for. And he was originally from Florida, and he asked me how my leave went, and I said, it was cold, sir. And he said, oh, come on, how cold was it? I'm like, it was freaking cold, sir. And he was like, come on, really? And I'm like, sir, it was like negative 20 to negative 70 below wind chills every single day. Like, at the best of times, it was negative 20. And he looked at me, and he said, BS. He didn't say BS, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
How not safe for work do we want this to go? You know? And he was like, I was like, excuse me, sir? He's like, people can't live in that. I'm like, well, no, but you can have a house in it, and you can run from your house to your car and start your car and run back in the house. Like, oh, that's BS. That's like Antarctic temperatures. People don't live in that shit. And I'm like, well, sir, I don't know what to tell you.
That's what you're doing is surviving.
Yeah, you run the car, you start it, you let it run, you run out there, you drive to the store, run in, run back out, you make it. So he absolutely refused to believe me that they were that temperatures. So I hope someday he got stationed in Alaska.
Yeah. Yeah. I can only imagine. It's cold. It's cold here, but we're in the. I think the high today was 25 or 26. So.
Oh, it was warm.
It's like a heat wave for you guys.
Right. That's
I'm
short.
still hating it.
Yeah, Kip doesn't do so well with the cold weather.
I was born in the fucking desert. This is killing me.
Oh man. So let's see. We talked about the game.
Yep.
2 blocks away at this Lego League practice she has. And when I walk up to the school to pick up my younger daughter, she's got her older sister's coat. The wind chill is negative I don't know, 4 or 5, something like that right now, and her sister doesn't wear a coat. I was just like, all right, kid, we got to talk about something. I know you're tough. I know you think you were, like, born for this stuff, but this is lose the ears sort of stuff, right?
That's teenage years, John.
I know.
I picked up Ben from daycare, put him in the car as I'm strapping him. He's like, "Wind! Close the door!" I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing on that one because my kids they just don't want to go outside. I mean they had big heavy coats on, hats, gloves, everything just to go from like the 10 feet from the door from daycare to my car. That's it.
They look like the kid from Christmas Story. I can't put my arms down.
Yeah, pretty much. But they wouldn't go outside unless they had all this stuff on. So like, whatever.
I work at a middle school, and I watch all the putzes that come in without jackets every day. And I go, "Where's your jacket?" "Well, need one. It's not cold out." "Okay." You know why your fingers are blue and black? It's called frostbite.
How come your lips are quivering? What's going on?
Right? "I'm not cold."
I can't feel my toes, but I'm not cold.
Right.
Awesome.
Dumb. It's dumb. Oh.
Well, I gotta ask you guys. We're gonna go on a little tangent here, cause.
Like that wasn't.
Well, okay. So a different tangent.
Like old men in a cafe talking about the. And you're worried about a tangent.
I remember back in '02.
It used to be sultry out. That was when it was so sultry.
Right, so
I had to walk to school.
like it snowed early this year, like this is considered really early.
Yeah.
And as soon as it snowed, every news station was like, "Since the Halloween storm of '94." And the funny part is, I was like, man, I remember that. I was in high school.
Yeah. That's the scary part. So
No, it's scarier
Bill,
is I wasn't even in high school.
Shut up, old man. Bill, last time we had you on, we talked about some comic books that you were gonna have, that your daughter was gonna read. Did she end up reading the new Thor comic book?
Speechless.
Did he freeze?
I think he froze. It is that cold there.
It's not cold. He is frozen in place. Well, fine. Don't answer my question.
I think they both froze.
I guess. Can you still hear me?
There's John. John's still there.
My guess is she did read it because she went as Thor for Halloween.
Oh, awesome.
And he sent me an awesome picture of her dressed as Thor, and I'm like, dude, best Better Ray Bill costume ever.
That's great.
He was mad.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've got it. I just actually put it on my tablet tonight, but I haven't had a chance to read it yet. So I want to know what he
dropped
thought.
off.
He'll be back, I'm sure. Well, that depends on if he can figure out how to use the computer. But
He just asked me if I'm still going.
Yeah, I just... Poor guy.
that's what happens when you're in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. And he's really in the middle of nowhere. Like, I live in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul area. He's, I think, 75 hours north of here, something like that. Somewhere just south of Canada, eh?
Yeah. I know what you mean. So, John, what are your plans for tours again this year, or I guess next year, 2015?
Well, we start off the year in February with an amazing convention here in the Twin Cities area called Con of the North. And I know trying to invite you up in February is not the best idea, but we host the Flapjacks and Sasquatches World Championship, and it's an amazing weekend. It's a con. I think they ran about 1,000 people last year with 350 events, so it's small. They're up to 4 events this year. but it is all about gaming, completely focused on it. In fact, they don't even bring in guests so that they can A, keep the cost down, and B,
Well, now John froze.
Yeah, he
everybody
did.
that goes. What's wrong?
You froze.
I froze?
Yeah, we were all sitting here listening, and your crappy tech.
Welcome back, Phil. Glad to see you back.
So you've got the convention in February in.
Yep. It's called Con of the North. And seriously, I'm inviting you guys up. I'm challenging you to come up here in February because you have to play in the World Championships, and I have to watch you lose so I can taunt you. I mean, so that the competition is up.
Is that in the Twin Cities itself?
World champion if you win.
Do you get the bacon belt?
No, you get the flannel.
Yeah,
Each year, it's a big red flannel, and it says World Champion and the year you won it. So the bacon belt is the traveling trophy. You have to give it up if you lose. The flannel is yours for life.
Oh, cool.
So is the Con of the North in the Twin Cities?
It's in Plymouth, Minnesota, which is in part of the Twin Cities. Yep, Con of the North.
That's not too far from where my sister-in-law lives.
There you go, man. She won't even make you stay in the garage, right?
I don't know. It depends on. She has young kids, and I can't seem to control my curse words.
Yeah. Kip and kid in the same room, really not a good idea.
After Con of the North, I think the next one we have is Origins, actually, in June. And that'll be a blast. That's a bigger con. Of the big four that we go to, it's probably the smallest, but it's a lot out in Ohio. It's one where we probably have the most energy at the end of the night because it is smaller.
Yeah.
So for us, it's a time to develop games and hang out
And freeze.
And freeze again.
out with them after dinner and actually play a game versus fall asleep in a chair.
Oh, God. Comic-Con is brutal.
Yeah, and San Diego Comic-Con is the next one. That's in July, and it's not really a gaming con at all. It's really neat to see all the cool stuff, but it's a big
Zombified.
commercial deal. What's that?
I said we leave zombified. Just
Yeah,
at the end of
yeah.
the day, it starts earlier than any other con in the day, and it goes later in the day than any other one. And we basically leave going,
It's like being that your absolute best, happiest person you can be for 12 hours on your feet and talking to thousands of people. It's fun, but it is exhausting. It's just draining by the end of the day. But it's pretty cool. And then probably followed that up in August, early August this year, with our favorite, which is Gen Con, which is. If you're a gamer and you haven't been to Gen Con, you just need to make it a destination. Just figure out a way to get there. It's fantastic. It's insane and keeps growing every year. It's games of all types, of every kind, everywhere for 4 days, now going on actually 5 days. And we have a blast. And if we keep it up, we're going to run our Cup of Joe Championship out there where we play with the Cup of Joe rules and cards. I'm not sure what the prize will be this year. Last year it was some of my very own custom dice from the first set. This year I think we'll do something else because I don't have any more of those. And then finally we wrap up the year at the end of August with Dragon Con in Atlanta, which is typically much more of a party than a con, but we work it the whole time, so it's not much of a party for us.
Right. No, I understand that one. Well, okay, so I didn't hear anything for the month of March.
Is there supposed to be something for the month of March?
Well, I'm just saying there
no.
is a convention in Kansas City.
Is that Gateway?
No, it's Planet Comic-Con, actually, in Kansas City. It's held at at Bartle Hall here, right in KC-Mo proper. So 13th, 14th, and 15th. Just saying.
13 guys. Just saying.
You guys are trying to get us to come up there for Con of the North. I'm trying to get you to come down here for Planet Comic Con. How about that?
You got a world championship there?
We can make one.
We can make one wherever we go.
Pretty much what I'm going with.
We had one at Bill's house yesterday.
I mean,
we had one at lunch at work today.
we know about 10 people, so we can have a championship of 10 people.
And one of them likes us.
Yeah. Most of them try to avoid me.
My money's on that Trevor guy and his beaver cards.
Right.
Yeah.
And he is, when we play with Trevor, he is the one that has the most facial hair, so.
It's a good thing it's facial hair because
he doesn't have any other hair.
The dome is showing. Now, Kansas City is pretty dry when it comes to conventions. We have one in July called CantCon. There seems to be more RPG kind of a bend to it. So
is Fear the Boot down there, or is that somewhere else?
The what?
The Fear the Boot con. They're another RPG podcast that puts on a con. Maybe that's somewhere else.
Yeah. Maybe that's the Boot Hill in Missouri or something.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
I don't know that one. So yeah, if we want a con, we gotta leave the state.
Yeah, for the most part, Planet Comic Con's a pretty big one, but it's just, it's
Mostly comics.
Yeah, it's a lot about comic books, and so it's kind of your stereotypical comic book convention.
Well, I can tell you, Comic-Con is not.
Yeah. Now, there's really nothing comic books about San Diego.
It's like the comic books. Like last year, as I walked through the ginormous thing, they're like in the back corner, like in the shadows. Talk about them.
Yeah.
There's some cool comic book costumes.
Yeah. Most definitely.
I believe that.
Just about every Harley Quinn you ever wanted.
A lot of Zatannas.
Yeah. So.
It can't be all bad watching those walk by, I'll tell you that much.
It can be. Sometimes.
Fair point. So, Bill, since you're back, I'm going to ask you this question again since you glitched out. How did your daughter like the new Thor?
So it's on. We missed the first issue, so she is waiting for it. It should be in. I just haven't gotten over there yet. She is impressed with. She likes the costume. She likes the look of it.
Yeah.
Actually, so the two that I ordered her was that, and then the new Batgirl, in the suburbia type thing, and she likes the new Batgirl a lot. And then she's waiting for me to get my lazy butt over to the comic store and pick up her copies of the Thor. So, and she hasn't gotten to see it yet.
Yeah, I was telling the guys I just got it onto my tablet tonight right before the show, so it's on my list to read, along with about 1.5 million other things.
She went as Thor for Halloween, so that's pretty sweet.
I thought they're Beta Ray Bill.
That's what I was gonna say. I heard it was a really good Beta Ray Bill costume.
He was so ready to slap you, John. Like I'm not some alien thing.
Add it to the list, buddy. Add it to the list.
He was so mad. You will never win a game around that child again. Like target number one. And
that doesn't more directed at you than her, right? Like I wanted her. Her costume was awesome. It looked amazing. It really did. But I just wanted to zing Bill if I could.
It didn't affect me because I know every time I play a game with the two of you now, even if she starts going to me, I would be like, "Hey, remember when you called your costume Beta Ray Bill?"
That's awesome.
So.
That's great. That is great.
What are you thinking of Constantine?
Oh, I am liking that. I am liking it a lot. I've only seen the first 2 episodes.
Oh.
So I think I'm I think I've got 2 episodes sitting on the queue to watch.
And we need to get to this week's. This last week's was so good. This last week's. So someone asked me, like, because I work at a school with people that either have kids or are kind of into like they've seen all the superhero movies or whatnot.
Right.
They asked me, like, oh, what's this Constantine thing? I said, well, it's not your typical comic book. I mean, it was like a Vertigo thing going on, and they said, so was it like the movie? I said, the movie doesn't do it justice. I said it was what it was, whatever. Keanu Reeves, blah blah blah. I said, but Constantine isn't a good guy. He's just a guy that does stuff. Sometimes it ends up happening to be good. I mean, he does a lot of dick things.
Yeah.
And so this last week totally solidifies that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was very impressed with this week's. I was like, wow, yep, that's Constantine.
Yeah, I was flipping through my usual website, my usual websites this morning while I was at work, and there was somebody that made a comment about the Constantine getting super dark and like that it can still get darker, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly what it needs to.
And it did.
Awesome.
It did. So, I was like, yeah, I'm locked on that show now for sure.
That's great. That's great. Either of you guys watching Gotham? Have you seen that one?
Yep.
I think we're both watching it.
Yep.
What do you guys think?
So I think every actual big time I'm a real Batman fan out there hates it for some reason, and apparently I'm just casual enough of a Batman fan that I'm enjoying it.
Right.
Because it's not a bad cop procedural. There's some clunky moments, and it gives me a bunch of comic book references. And would I rather watch like sort of a cop procedural without comic book moments or with comic book moments? I'll like the one with the comic book moments and call it good. It's better than not having them in there. I don't know.
And a couple of times ago when they throw out Mr. Zaz, I'm like, woo, Mr. Zaz!
Yeah. Oh, I really enjoyed that one. I've kind of enjoyed it because I don't know, maybe I don't know the ins and outs of Batman like to the finest degree, so I can't say, oh, well, they showed this here and that's going to be a reference to this, but that's going to cause conflict with what's happened at this point. And I can't do that part of it, so I think that's why I'm enjoying the show. But
how about the Flash? What are you thinking?
I like it. That's another one where I've only seen the first couple episodes because I'm a little bit behind on that one too. But
you need to stop watching the porn and get back onto the TV shows.
Well, the problem is I got too many damn TV shows.
For me, the Flash is good. I think I like Gotham and Constantine better. I don't mind the Flash though. I mean, I like that they're actually doing superhumans instead of like, well, we're not gonna super it up too much.
Yeah.
I also thought it was hilarious. Like, so I watched the episode with the Mist, and they show his dad, and I was watching it. I was like, is that it? They actually took the guy that played the Flash in like the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
And they made him his dad, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I did.
Unlike everyone else in the world, I didn't mind that TV show, so. Because at that point, I was just happy there was a superhero show.
It was
Bill
better
has
than the.
bad taste in movies and TV shows. Just to forewarn you.
What's that?
I said Bill has bad taste in TVs and movies.
No, hold on.
Which makes me really nervous when we agree. And right now I'm agreeing with him on a lot of stuff, so I feel like in a couple years I'll regret it.
John hates Tombstone. Who has the better taste?
I don't hate Tombstone. I just don't think it's the best Western ever made, like most of a certain generation. Because I've seen Clint Eastwood movies and John Wayne movies. So, there's that.
Yeah, you're old. I understand that.
Wow.
You're a decade older than me.
You're going to say Tombstone's better than Outlaw Josie Wales?
No, I'm just saying you're old.
Well, there you go.
I never said it was the best Western. I just said it's a great Western.
I'm gonna bet you like Paint Your Wagon better than you like Tombstone.
Oh no. Oh no.
You
I do
sure?
like Paper Wagon, but not better than Tombstone.
Wow. Wow,
Okay then.
it sounds like we've found that button here. Tombstone seems to be that button.
We have about 5,000 of those buttons.
Oh yeah,
But we don't take it personally, so that's why we get along.
exactly.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's great.
We can both accept that the other one sucks.
I can't say I'm a huge fan of Tombstone, but I'm not a huge fan of westerns in general. So
Oh, well, then you're just wrong. You go ahead and sit there in your wrongness. You're fine, son. Just
that's-
stay there in your wrongness.
I'm more future, post-apocalyptic type stuff down
So
the
you-
road.
you're
I
gonna
don't
do
need to.
Avengers,
I don't
right?
need to look at people riding horses.
How about future westerns? Huh?
Yeah, you got it there.
And there's actually there's an anime that's out there that is kind of considered a future western, and that's called Cowboy Bebop,
I knew you were gonna say that.
and I'm a big fan of that one. So I enjoy that one quite a bit.
What's this anime stuff? What is
Yeah.
that? Is that like something the kids do now?
Yep, it's after your time.
Yeah, yeah, quite a bit after your time. Sorry, John.
So my other question is, of that list of DC movies that came out, what's the one you're waiting for?
Oh,
'Cause I know you got an opinion.
none of them.
What?
Wow.
Wow.
I don't have faith
He's
that
a
their
Marvel
movies
boy.
are gonna be any good.
I am super pumped for the Suicide Squad. Actually,
See, and of all of them, I would say that one is probably that one's closest to me caring about.
I'm
But
like ready for a super powered Dirty Dozen, man. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
but my problem, my I guess not my problem, because I don't have a problem with the concept for it.
Oh, you have a problem.
I'm actually worried that they're not going to succeed in pulling it off.
But I think that one might be the easiest for them to pull off, for the simple fact that all the other ones are so iconic that they don't want to touch certain things, and they don't want to.
Right.
You'll have so many people like with the whole Superman thing again. Like, oh, he wouldn't destroy the city. He's Superman. These are bad guys that no one knows about unless you actually read Suicide Squad.
Well, but also what I'm afraid of is they're not going to use the actual Suicide Squad. They're going to pull in bad guys from these past movies because they're bigger and people know about them. I hope that they don't. But
Yeah, I don't think so.
DC hasn't, or I guess Warner Brothers hasn't proven to me that they can successfully make a movie that I'm going to care about.
For me though, I think it's their Guardians of the Galaxy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of there, like, we can kind of throw this, do whatever we want, have fun with it, introduce characters that no one knows about,
Right.
and who's going to say anything?
But if Marvel would have done Guardians of the Galaxy before they were successful with if Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, if all those would have failed and then they would have put out Guardians of the Galaxy, no one would have gone and seen it.
Yeah, but Batman hasn't failed.
Yeah, but that's the only one.
Okay.
I mean, Green Lantern failed.
And
Superman was a bomb.
Yeah, I disagree with you on the Superman thing, but that's just...
Well, it didn't. I didn't have a problem with it. I've watched it since, and I don't have a problem with the movie. Like, I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be, but the critics really ripped it up, and the social media ripped it up, and that doesn't help.
And we'll see how Batman Superman does.
Yeah.
If that does well,
then yeah, that's the thing. Suicide Squad's so far down the road. They've got to keep putting out successful movies. They get a couple successful movies in a row.
if they stick to the comic that they're obviously, it looks like they're mirroring, it could be really good. I mean, they're going with the female Robin. They're going with,
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Now if you'd switch that, how about the Marvel movies that have been announced?
I'm actually excited if they go in the Captain America, if they're going the Civil War stuff.
Yeah.
Like I that kind of intrigues me.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see where that comes from. But the one that I'm probably most excited for, because I'm curious to see what they do with it, and that's Inhumans.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I mean, that's
Won't play on the screen very well.
yeah. I don't know. I think the reason I'm excited for that one is because they have the opportunity to, I mean, to just to do what they did with Guardians of the Galaxy. They could recreate that with Inhumans, because not very many people know about these characters.
But it's not fun, happy-go-lucky.
Well, that is true. That is true.
And I'm going to say this right now. I like Guardians of the Galaxy a lot, but I think there's something to be said with the music they chose for it. You know, that's music that we've all heard. It's music that's happy, bubbly, pop, like back then, you know.
Right.
And so that plays into the theme. You're not going to have Hooked on a Feeling running through the Inhumans.
That's true.
I mean,
that is true.
Who isn't? You're also not going to have the snarky comments, really.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to be curious how they can how they play a character like Black Bolt on
right.
The movie.
Because the mute character is going to be making a whole lot of snarky comments.
Right. Yeah. They can bring back Charlie Chaplin.
I got to tell you, I'm not looking forward to it. And the one reason is, every time I ran into one of the stories in the comics, I was just like, oh, yeah, these guys again.
Yep.
And that's just about what it did for me.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to the honestly, and this is probably going to be horrible, but I want to see the Iron Fist and Power Man Netflix shows.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No arguments there.
Correct.
I'm looking for everything that they're putting out on Netflix, because I'm even excited to see what they do with Daredevil, because the first little screen caps or first pictures they've put out,
they look good.
That looks awesome.
You know, our Daredevils in the past, when you took Noah Flexion Affleck and gave him fight scenes, that should give you an idea where they're going to go with. Oh, never mind.
No, that's going to be Batman.
I'm looking forward to the Batman Superman movie so much, because he's awesome at playing superheroes.
That's the man that loves the 70s Captain America.
Dude, I was a kid. I love the 70s Wonder Woman, too.
You're a stupid kid.
There's nothing wrong with the 70s Wonder Woman.
That's right.
I agree with that.
Are you telling me you didn't like the Super Friends show when you were a kid? Have you seen it? Here.
Without the stupid dog and kids.
Come on, what about the Wonder Twins?
Yeah. How about Spider-Man and his amazing friends? You didn't like that, Bill? Because have you gone back and looked at it?
I have. I was an idiot as a child. That's easily
that was pretty bad. It's on Netflix in case you guys want to watch it again.
Oh no, I should start watching it.
I loved it as a kid. I did.
It was. Abby got to the episode where they brought in all these other people, and I was like, Namor's going to swim in vinegar, and it's going to dry him out. I've seen this one.
That's awesome.
Abby guys in, what? This isn't water? She's like, how do you know that? I'm a genius.
Genius is not the word I would use right there.
Savant?
Maybe.
Copyright on that one.
Starts with an S.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know about that Inhumans one though, Marv. I mean, I think my favorite Inhuman scenes is still in the World War Hulk, where Hulk just beats the crap out of Black Bolt.
See, and I don't know. I guess I've always had. I mean, I'm a big X-Men fan, and I feel like the Inhumans are almost like a parallel version of the X-Men that these are the outcasts that nobody likes, and that
As
they're
in the fans or the people in the comics?
both.
Hey, John, don't insult other people.
Hey, you want backers? You got to be nice to everybody out here.
You guys are backed already.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's the difference between. I think the reason why I'm looking forward to it is the fact that I think that's going to be the most challenge for Marvel to make that really good. And unlike Warner Brothers, I have faith in Marvel to turn a movie that everyone says isn't going to be any good and make it really good. Because there was a lot of people saying Guardians of the Galaxy was going to tank, and it did anything but tank.
I was pumped for it.
I was looking forward to it, but a lot of the non-comic book fans that I know who had no idea who these people were, they're like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go see that. And then the moment those reviews started coming out on how amazing that movie was, it kind of shows with as long as it sat at #1 in the box office.
Right.
So,
I agree. It's good to be a comic nerd right now. That's for sure.
yeah, the question's how long is this going to last? You got Marvel and
I
DC
don't care.
both saying they're going to run to like 2022 or something.
I'll take it as long as I can.
Yeah. Because,
And then
once this runs out,
it'll
we're
be
going to go
gone.
back into that huge dry spell.
I'll take it as long as I can because I don't want to go back to Dolph Lundgren Punisher.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want anything Dolph Lundgren.
and I don't ever want to see a Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider again.
That is true.
So,
Was he supposed to be Ghost Rider or Elvis? I couldn't tell.
Both.
maybe a very twitchy Elvis.
It just seemed like he was trying to do an Elvis impersonation the entire movie.
Well, I thought I was just watching Con Air because I don't think he plays anyone else. It's the same
Well,
character over and over.
Ghost Rider 1 was like the Con Air, very like kind of, oh, this is this. Ghost Rider 2 was his creepy, like flip out, like kick ass dad, like woo type stuff. So
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, stop insulting Nicolas Cage. He might be one of our backers.
he might be. He might be.
And just be thankful he wasn't Superman like he wanted to be.
I will.
God.
I will stop talking about him in case he is one of our backers. But for everyone out there, if you really want to know his true acting potential, just watch Season of the Witch, and then you kind of know where he sits. Sam.
Wow.
I mean, when everyone else can do an accent and you're just talking, then that ain't right.
Yeah, there's a problem with that.
Right? So, I don't know.
All right. What else you guys got? You got anything else?
John?
Not really.
Flapjacks and Sasquatches, everybody.
Cup of
Nine
Joe.
nine
Cup of-
backers from the first stretch goal.
That's right.
So, that's pretty-
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're almost halfway to the $9,000 goal. Everybody who's listening, go right now. If you haven't already, go to Kickstarter and back it. Let's get some more people up there.
I feel like we're running a telethon for some reason.
We kind of are, right?
Right.
If we can fund it while we're still recording, there will be this great reward for everyone who calls in.
I gotta tell you, John would love to get past those stretch goals we have listed, just so he can be like, "Hey, Bill, look, you got to come up with more stretch goals."
Yeah,
His
because there's
favorite thing to do is just to throw out there, "Hey, you should do this." I'm like, "Dude, I'm not doing that." And then I'll come back like a couple days later and be like, "Okay, I did it." So,
Damn it, John. That's great. That's great. All right. Well, thank you guys, Bill and John, for coming on. Thanks for making some awesome games.
well,
You can check them out at Prolific Games. Is it prolificgames.net or .com?
.net.
.net. That's what I thought. All right, go to prolificgames.net. Go to their Kickstarter page. There's links to it all over our stuff.
Or
all
just
over
search
our-
for Flapjacks and under Kickstarter. If you search Flapjacks, you can find it.
Yep. It's really easy to find. It's like the first thing that pops up. So, because there's so many things named Flapjacks and Sasquatches. So, all right, guys, you can check us out on our blog at geekvice.blogspot.com. I'm gonna be posting some stuff up there. I'm gonna try to start getting onto the blog more often, so there'll actually be content on the blog. You can follow us on Twitter at GeekVice, which I have started posting things on there. I don't even know how to use Twitter. This is weird. You can follow us at Google+.
And he's the youngest guy on the podcast, and he's having trouble with this stuff.
Fuck, man, I don't get this whole Twitter thing. I gotta find out why there's other people that are on there that I don't know. It's weird. Whatever. I don't talk to people. I'm a hermit that sits in my house. So.
I'm pretty sure it has something to do with that anime stuff.
Probably. Too many tentacles in his life.
Oh, Jesus, of course we went there. We almost went a whole episode without going there. We're there now. All right, you guys can follow Kip at Kip Killigan. You can follow Prolific Games at Prolific Games. You can look for us to go to Con of the North in February.
You should come, man. It's a blast.
I'm gonna try to make that work because I think that's gonna be fun. So we'll have to see.
Awesome.
We'll have to see what we can do.
We might have free room and board if I can sweet talk my sister-in-law into it.
Well, there you go. If we can, we'll have. I gotta convince my social director first. So we'll see how that goes. Well, thanks a lot, guys, for coming on. You guys can email us at geekvice@gmail.com. That's all I got.
That's everything.
Thanks, guys.